CUNY now has a new sexual harassment policy forbidding sexual relations between professor and student, thanks to a suggestion by the John Jay Faculty Senate in November and quick actions by the university and Chancellor Matthew Goldstein. Lehman College student Valerie Santos says the new policy is pointless.
I feel like the whole policy, or even coming up with the policy, was a waste of time, because that's not really CUNY's like biggest problem. Like, how come they aren't like knocking down my door with a new like financial aid package? Like, hey, I just gave you more money. Like, that would be fantastic, because I really do not care.
The old CUNY policy frowned on student-teacher intimacy. This one outright forbids it, at least with those students who professors have a professional responsibility to. Many of these policies exist to protect universities against lawsuits and grade inflation. York English professor Matthew Corcoran agrees with the new policy for that sole reason.
Given the fact that there's an abuse of power, possible abuse of power, it protects the students who are probably most vulnerable, and it also protects the professors, from charges against students and the manipulation of the whole relationship. And I think it's also important because it kind of evens out the whole class. There should never be a particular special relationship within a class that separates that student from the other 30.
Joining CUNY in the effort is Columbia University, both late to the party as California, Syracuse, Yale, and Iowa State adopted the policy almost 10 years ago. For York student Marissa Collado, CUNY students being adults first makes all the difference.
I do not think that it's fair, because I feel like once you're in college, you're already legally an adult. So I feel like they really have no business dictating who can date who. This is not high school, nobody's underage, especially because CUNY has a lot of students that are like older than 18, 19, 20. Like, there are a lot of students who are like 30, 35, and 40. So how are you going to tell a 35-year-old student, hey, you can't date this professor? Like, everybody here is an adult, so I feel like it's adult business, and nobody should be involved in it.
For CUNY officials like John Jay Faculty Senate President Karen Kaplowitz, the concern is students trading sex for easy A's. However, CUNY students find this argument irrelevant.
I wouldn't care, because I earned an A. So my A, just because they got an A, it doesn't mean that my A means less. They got their A their way, and I got it my way. So my A is still an A at the end of the day, no matter what they did.
Wow, you must be really good in bed, because I stood up all night writing that essay. You stood up all night having sex with him, so good job.
The biggest question remaining is whether CUNY making the policy official will have any effect on stopping possible future hookups before they even begin.
I've never heard of a case in the first place, and I think it will have an effect, because I think the possible, if it's coming from on high, I'm sure the punishments would not be a slap on the wrist. I don't think someone's going to jeopardize his whole career for the sake of a clandestine relationship.
The fact that now it's restricted, I feel like everyone's going to want to do it now, because when you stop someone from, like, when you force a person to stop doing something, they just want it more, so.